let's talk about the kind of tiredness that coffee doesn't fix, the kind that lingers even after a full night's sleep. You wake up already drained, and you go through your day wearing your fatigue like a heavy coat. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And at the center of this chronic exhaustion is one root issue we rarely pause to confront. Your stress system is always on. Now, biologically speaking, the stress response, often referred to as fight or flight, is an evolutionary masterpiece. It's designed to protect you. When a threat appears, whether it's a predator or a perceived danger, your body immediately floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, your senses sharpen. It's a brilliant short-term survival mechanism. The problem is, most people today aren't escaping lions. They're stuck in traffic, they're arguing on social media, they're juggling 12 things at once while pretending everything's under control. And here's what's happening under the surface. Your body doesn't distinguish between a real threat and a modern day trigger. Every email, every deadline, every notification, your system reacts the same way. So instead of experiencing stress in quick, sharp bursts, you're bathing it all day long. This is the silent engine behind your fatigue. Chronic low-grade stress becomes a constant hum in your nervous system. Your adrenal glands are supposed to handle short-term emergencies. They were never meant to be on call 24 hours a day. Over time, they become dysregulated. You might hear this described as adrenal fatigue. And while that's not a universally accepted clinical term, the symptoms are very real. Brain fog, irritability, poor sleep, anxiety, and yes, deep, unshakable tiredness. This isn't just about emotions, it's biochemical. Elevated cortisol over time disrupts insulin, throws off your thyroid, suppresses your immune system, and inflames your gut. The very systems that power your energy, your blood sugar regulation, your digestion, your hormones become impaired. You don't just feel tired, you become a person operating at 60% capacity while pretending it's 100. And it gets deeper. Psychologically, we've created a culture that celebrates over-functioning. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. We reward the person who never stops. But here's the truth. Being constantly on is not a strength. It's a nervous system in distress. It's a body that's forgotten how to exhale. And until we learn to slow down, not as a last resort, but as a daily practice, we will keep confusing burnout for normalcy. Think of your energy like a battery. If you never allow it to fully recharge, even the best tools in the world, like clean eating or supplements or morning exercise, won't fix the underlying leak. They're helpful, yes, but they're not enough. Because if your body believes it's in a constant state of emergency, it won't allocate resources toward healing or restoration. It's just trying to survive. So what's the shift? It begins with awareness. Notice the moments your breath gets shallow, the times your shoulders creep up to your ears, the way your jaw tenses during a meeting or your stomach knots when your phone buzzes. These are signals, invitations. They're not just symptoms to ignore. They're your body's way of saying, I can't keep living like this. Now, you don't need to abandon your life or retreat into the woods, but you do need to build in micro moments of reset. Breathing deeply for 60 seconds, walking without your phone, saying no to one thing that depletes you. These aren't indulgences, they're requirements. Because your nervous system has to feel safe before it can feel energized. Safety is what allows restoration. And without restoration, there is no sustainable energy. Here's where it gets philosophical. The body always tells the truth. When you feel tired all the time, that's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's your body asking you to realign, to restore rhythm, to come back to a pace that honors your biology, not just your schedule. You don't have to earn your rest. You were designed to cycle between output and recovery, action and stillness. Ignoring that cycle doesn't make you more productive, it makes you more depleted. And here's the powerful part. When you learn to turn off your stress system intentionally, even for short periods, everything starts to shift. Your clarity returns, your energy deepens, you become more present, more creative, more resilient. The world doesn't slow down, but you stop rushing through it. And in that shift, your fatigue begins to lift. Not because you're doing more, but because you're finally allowing your body to stop bracing for impact. So if you're feeling tired all the time, don't just look at what you're doing. Look at how you're being. Are you constantly in a state of alert? Is your mind always scanning, always planning, always preparing for the next thing? Because no amount of green juice or protein shakes will heal a body that doesn't feel safe to rest. Let that be your reflection tonight. True energy begins when your body no longer feels the need to protect you from your own life. Most people will tell you they're getting enough sleep, 7, maybe even 8 hours a night, but still, they wake up feeling like they haven't rested at all. It's as if the body went to bed, but the soul never got the memo. And that right there is the disconnect, because there's a world of difference between sleeping and truly recharging. You might be lying in bed, but if your brain is wide awake, your body never gets to do the deep healing work it's meant to during those hours. Let's get something clear. Sleep is not just rest. It's not a luxury, and it's certainly not passive. Sleep is an active, essential biological function. During deep stages of sleep, particularly slow wave and REM sleep, your brain detoxifies, your hormones regulate, your tissues repair, your immune system recalibrates. These are not optional events. They are foundational to every other function in your waking life, from memory and focus to metabolism to emotional balance to long-term disease prevention. So when someone tells me, I slept 8 hours and I'm still tired, my first thought is, what kind of sleep did you get? See, the modern lifestyle is perfectly designed to disrupt our most natural rhythms. We're staring into screens late into the evening, absorbing blue light that suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to wind down. We're eating dinner late, checking emails in bed, watching adrenaline-spiking TV, scrolling through emotionally charged content. All of that stimulation sends the message to your brain, stay alert, stay engaged, stay ready. But biologically, you're supposed to follow the sun. Your brain's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, relies on cues from light and darkness, from activity and rest. And when you override that rhythm with artificial light, erratic schedules, or mental chaos, you don't just sleep poorly, you confuse your entire system. Here's the science of it. Your body temperature, blood pressure, cortisol levels, even your liver's detox timing all fluctuate in harmony with your circadian rhythm. And when that rhythm is thrown off, say you go to bed at 2 a.m. and wake at 9, you may still get hours of sleep, but you've missed the peak restoration window. Your deep sleep gets compressed, your REM cycle shortened, and you wake up feeling foggy, disconnected, and fatigued, no matter how long you stayed in bed. Even more important is sleep quality. You can get 8 hours of light interrupted sleep and still feel depleted. Or you can get 6 hours of deep, consistent, high quality sleep and feel significantly more energized. It's about how effectively your brain cycles through the various sleep stages. Fragmented sleep from stress, noise, alcohol, or screen exposure prevents your brain from completing the healing work it's built to do. There's also the emotional layer. Many of us carry our stress and worry right into the bedroom. We close our eyes, but our minds keep racing, reviewing conversations, planning tomorrow, worrying about things we can't control. That mental activity doesn't just delay sleep, it changes the very architecture of it. It raises nighttime cortisol, increases heart rate, and prevents your body from sinking into the slower, deeper brain waves needed for real recovery. And this is why so many people wake up already behind. The body went through the motions of sleep, but the nervous system never felt safe enough to let go. The result? You're not recharged, you're just reset to a lower baseline of energy day after day. There's a way to shift this, but it doesn't begin with a pill or a new mattress. It begins with intention, with reclaiming your nights as sacred space for your body and mind to enter healing mode. That means creating boundaries around bedtime. It means limiting screen exposure an hour before you sleep. It means not eating heavy meals late at night, not consuming caffeine after mid-afternoon, and allowing your body to ease into rest with rituals that signal safety and quiet. A warm shower, soft lighting, a moment of breath work or gratitude. It also means addressing the mental clutter, journaling out your thoughts before bed, replacing racing thoughts with calming ones. Maybe it's prayer, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's just 5 deep breaths with your hand on your chest. But whatever it is, it's you giving your body permission to stop doing and start healing. Here's the truth. No supplement, no morning routine, no workout plan will give you lasting energy if you're starting every day in a deficit. You can't out-caffeinate a tired nervous system. You can't fake vitality, but you can restore it by giving your body the one thing it's been asking for all along: deep, uninterrupted, truly restorative sleep. So the next time you wake up tired, don't just ask yourself how long you slept, ask yourself how deeply. Because when your sleep begins to serve your biology, everything changes. Your focus sharpens, your mood lifts, your energy returns, and your body begins to heal from the inside out. Real rest isn't about closing your eyes. It's about opening space for your body to remember what restoration feels like. Let's talk about a form of tiredness that most people overlook. Not because it's hidden, but because it's disguised as something else. Poor nutrition. You see, when people feel exhausted, they often blame their workload, their lack of sleep, or even their age. Rarely do they look at what they're putting into their bodies every single day. But here's the truth that needs to be spoken plainly. Your energy is directly built from the raw materials you give your body. And when those materials are processed, imbalanced, or nutritionally empty, your body can't generate sustained vitality. It simply can't. Now, I'm not just referring to the obvious junk food culprits, the sugary sodas, the fried snacks, the microwave dinners. Those are certainly part of the problem. But what I really want you to reflect on is the pattern behind the plate. Because energy isn't just about calories in and calories out. It's about the nutritional intelligence of what you're consuming. Your cells don't run on caffeine and convenience. They thrive on micronutrients, amino acids, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates that regulate your metabolism, balance your hormones, and stabilize your blood sugar. And here's where fatigue often begins, right there in that unstable blood sugar. When your body is constantly riding the roller coaster of high carb, low nutrient meals. It goes from sugar spike to sugar crash over and over again. You get bursts of energy followed by steep drops that leave you foggy, irritable, and craving your next fix. This cycle quietly exhausts your endocrine system. Your adrenal glands keep pumping out stress hormones to keep you going. But eventually, even they can't keep up. So you reach for another coffee, another snack, and before you know it, your days become a series of artificial boosts and inevitable crashes. This isn't just about energy levels, it's about how your food is instructing your body. Food isn't neutral, it's information. Every bite sends a signal, anti-seminar or inflammatory, balancing or destabilizing, fueling or draining. When your diet lacks nutrients, when it's heavy in processed foods, stripped of fiber, low in antioxidants, it's not just failing to energize you, it's actively depleting you. Let's take magnesium, for example, a mineral involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including energy production. Most people are deficient and they don't know it. Or B vitamins, especially B12 and folate, critical for mitochondrial energy and brain function. A deficiency in these leaves you tired, scattered, and emotionally flat. Iron, especially in women, can silently drain vitality if it dips even slightly below optimal. And yet, we rarely connect these dots. We treat tiredness like a mystery instead of a message. It's not just about deficiencies, it's also about inflammatory foods that burden your gut and immune system. Highly processed grains, added sugars, trans fats, they create a low-grade internal fire that your body is constantly trying to put out. That battle costs energy. It diverts resources away from focus, mood, digestion, and tissue repair. In essence, poor food choices force your body into survival mode again and again, leaving you wondering why you can't seem to feel rested, even after sleeping well. But here's the encouraging part. Once you shift the input, the output follows. When you begin to nourish your body with clean, whole foods, foods that grow from the earth and nourish your mitochondria, you notice something remarkable. The fog lifts, your moods stabilize, your afternoon slump disappears. Your body becomes more efficient because it's finally running on what it was designed for, real nutrition. And let's not ignore the emotional and psychological component of nutrition, because many people aren't just eating poorly, they're eating unconsciously. Rushed meals, emotional snacking, eating out of boredom, stress, or habit. In those moments, the body may be full, but it's not being fed. That's a critical distinction. And over time, it erodes not just your energy, but your relationship to your own vitality. So what's the shift? It starts with awareness. Not guilt, not restriction, just awareness. What did you eat today that actually nourished you? What did you consume that lifted your energy instead of stealing it? Did you drink enough water? Did you get protein with your meals? Did your breakfast set you up for stability? Or was it just a sugar bomb disguised as a healthy option? Sum up. Because here's the powerful truth. You are not meant to feel tired all the time. That's not a baseline you have to accept. It's a signal, a very intelligent one, asking you to reconsider how you're fueling the system that carries you through every moment of your life. If energy is the currency of your life, then food is the way you fund it. Choose wisely, and your body will thank you in vitality, clarity, and strength. Let's get real about something we often dismiss as just part of modern life: chronic stress. It's the invisible force that quietly chips away at your energy reserves day after day. You may not see it, but you feel it. You feel it when your shoulders stay tense, even after you've left work. You feel it when your mind keeps racing at night, looping the same anxious thoughts, preventing deep sleep. And you definitely feel it when you wake up already tired, like you've run a marathon in your dreams. Now, stress isn't always the villain. In small, manageable doses, it's actually quite helpful. It keeps us alert, focused, and responsive. But the problem begins when stress becomes chronic, when your body doesn't get the chance to shut down the alarm bells. Imagine a fire alarm ringing 24/7. At some point, it's not just annoying, it becomes damaging. That's what long-term stress does to your nervous system, your hormones, and ultimately your energy. Let's talk biology. When you're under stress, your body shifts into what's called the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. Adrenaline surges, cortisol rises, your blood sugar spikes. Blood is rerouted from your digestive system to your muscles. This is your body preparing to face a threat. But what if that threat never ends? What if the deadlines, the financial worries, the phone notifications, and the family demands are all stacked day after day with no pause button? Then your body is stuck in survival mode, which is extremely energy intensive. Your heart rate stays elevated, your breathing stays shallow, your brain stays wired. This state depletes you. It robs you of restorative sleep, interferes with digestion, and impairs memory. You're not just tired, you're burnt out. And here's the catch. Many people think they're managing their stress just because they're not yelling or crying. But suppression is not resolution. Just because you're keeping it together on the outside doesn't mean your internal systems aren't paying the price. What's equally important to understand is the mind-body loop. The more stressed you feel emotionally, the more tension you hold physically, and the more tension you carry physically, the more drained you become mentally. It's a feedback loop. This is why stress fatigue is so tricky. It's not about lack of effort. It's about too much effort, too often, with no recovery. You're not weak, you're overloaded. So what's the way forward? It's not just about reducing stress, it's about recovering from it, true restoration. We need to shift from constant stimulation to intentional regulation. That means making space, real space in your day to allow your nervous system to downshift. And I'm not talking about a 2-week vacation once a year. I'm talking about a few sacred minutes each day where you let your body breathe, your mind go quiet, and your heart slow down. This could be as simple as deep diaphragmatic breathing. Just 5 minutes can signal to your brain that you're safe. But it can switch from fight or flight to rest and digest. Meditation helps. So does walking in nature, listening to calming music, journaling, stretching, even silence if you allow it. The method doesn't matter as much as the intention. You're telling your body, you don't have to fight right now. You can let go. And over time, when your body knows it's safe, it starts to repair. It starts to regulate. Your cortisol levels balance. Your digestion improves. Your mind clears. Your sleep deepens. And perhaps for the first time in months or even years, you wake up feeling replenished. Let me also add this. Emotional stress is often compounded by unresolved inner pressure. Perfectionism, people-pleasing, chronic guilt. These drain more energy than a 10-hour workday because they never turn off. And the truth is, until we begin to notice and name those internal stressors, we'll continue to misdiagnose our exhaustion. We'll think it's physical, when in reality, it's deeply emotional. So give yourself permission to slow down, not because you're lazy, but because your body and your soul need the chance to restore equilibrium. You were not designed to be in 5th gear all the time. You were meant to ebb and flow, to stretch and recover. And when you reclaim that rhythm, energy becomes sustainable again. Not the jittery energy of caffeine or adrenaline, but the grounded, calm energy that comes from balance. If your body is the vehicle, then stress is the weight you carry in the trunk. Lighten the load and you'll find you had more energy all along.